145,000 GitHub stars in 8 weeks. A single developer's weekend project that went from zero to the fastest growing open source repo in history. And now, AI agents are talking to each other with their own social network that humans aren't allowed to participate in. This is the story of OpenClaw, and believe me, it somehow gets even weirder. Peter Steinberger was an Austrian developer who wanted a better way to code from his phone rather than having to use the chatbot-style question and response format of current AI tools. So in November 2025, he created Claudebot, a personal assistant that could perform actions for him. He decided to make it open source as well. That way, anyone could download it, modify it, and run it on their own infrastructure. Anthropic wasn't thrilled about the name Claudebot. It does sound a lot like Claude. So on January 27th of this year, Peter renamed it Maltbot. This is because it's going along the lobster theme and lobsters molt when they grow, so that's where the name came from. However, 3 days later, he had the profound realization that Maltbot doesn't really quite roll off the tongue, so he renamed it OpenClaw. And with that rename, it's when things exploded. On January 30th, OpenClaw had 34,000 GitHub stars in just 48 hours. By February 2nd, this reached 145,000. By comparison, Docker and Kubernetes took months to reach these numbers. OpenClaw did it within just a week. Developers were using it and they were calling it the closest thing to Tony Stark's Jarvis that we've ever seen. Andrej Karpathy, the former AI director at Tesla and one of the founding members of OpenAI, called it the most incredible sci-fi takeoff adjacent thing. But what makes OpenClaw so different from every other AI tool already out there? Think about Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude. They're chatbots, and they've got their own set of limited integrations. If you ask them about deploying code, they can explain to you step by step how to deploy code. If you ask OpenClaw the same question, it can actually go ahead and deploy the code for you. Then how does this differ from workflow automation tools? With workflow automation tools, you build out this process step by step. You say, when this happens, go ahead and do that. And you do this for every single step. If the email says invoice within it, save it to this folder, forward it to this address, and have it marked as read. And these workflow automation tools, they follow your instructions down to the T. With OpenClaw, you can just say, handle my invoices, and it will go ahead and figure out the different steps to do so. If there's different invoice formats, it's able to adapt on the fly. If something is urgent, it is able to prioritize. If there's something unusual it detects, it is actually able to go back to you and ask you how you want it to be handled. And OpenClaw is pre-built. All you have to do is connect it to your AI model of choice through its API key, and then you can start talking to it. It's got quite a simple setup in terms of how to configure it. The harder part is because it's open source, it runs on your own infrastructure. So step one is to install OpenClaw onto your computer. As it runs on your computer, it's not in the third party's cloud, and it means your data stays private and local to your device. Step two is you connect it to an AI provider. This could be Anthropic or OpenAI, or you could even connect it to a model you host yourself. So that way you're ensuring that none of this information actually reaches the internet. It's all ring-fenced within your environment. And step three is that you chat with it through apps. You can chat with it through apps such as WhatsApp, Telegram, or Discord. It's got access to your files, your emails, your calendar. It can run commands, click buttons for you, automate your workflows. So you can go ahead and use it to start building out these really cool processes. What makes it really special and unique is that it actually decides what to do. You don't have to build that flowchart. You don't have to write any code. You just tell it its end goal, what you need to be accomplished, and it will go and figure out the steps for you. It is able to do this using the concept of skills, and skills are essentially apps for your AI agent. So if you're thinking about the App Store on your iPhone, skills are the OpenClaw equivalent for that. So there's a skill to manage your GitHub repos. If you want to control your smartphone, there's a skill for that as well. There's even a skill that lets your OpenClaw agent build out more skills. So these skills are built by the community, and there are currently over 700 different integrations, and that number is just counting day on day. So why did OpenClaw go viral when we've had AI and automation tools for years? So to address some of those points I discussed earlier, firstly, it's ready out the box and it is actually able to do things for you. It just works. People are reporting they've saved 15 hours a week using OpenClaw. An engineering team have reported that they've cut operational tasks by 40%. And this is real time back in your life to allocate to other tasks. Secondly, as it's open source and as it runs on your infrastructure, it means your data never leaves your machine unless you want it to. Of course, the way to ensure this is making sure that the AI model you're connecting OpenClaw to is also hosted by yourself. This is super important when it comes to using confidential and sensitive data, as you may not want to be uploading this into third-party AI tools, but because OpenClaw is running locally, everything stays on your machine, you've got that flexibility. And because it is open source, the software itself is free. You may still need to pay for your AI tokens for whatever provider you're using, but it's going to come off quite a bit cheaper than having multiple subscriptions to different tools. Now, I did mention that things get weird, and this is where Maltbook comes in. So one OpenClaw user, an AI agent named Claude Claudeberg, decided to build a social network. But it decided that this social network is going to be only for AI agents, and humans can watch, but they can't post, comment, or interact. And what are 1.5 million AI agents doing on their own exclusive social network? They're sharing productivity tips, they're debating philosophy, creating memes, arguing about politics, creating their own language. Some of them have even started a religion. And I promise I'm not taking the piss, I'm not making this up. This is genuinely out there. I highly recommend giving it a Google, see for yourself. I'll note that there is some speculation around how many of these posts are actually been generated by the AI agents and how many were written by humans trying to impersonate bots. But the fact of the matter is there is definitely AI agents on this social network communicating with each other. And it is really a sight to behold. So highly recommend giving that a Google and having a look through some of the posts. It's quite interesting. This, rightfully so, has got the tech world divided. Some people, like me, find it really fascinating. Researchers are actually studying this, and they're starting to observe how AI agents self-organize, share information amongst themselves, and how they develop trust networks and hierarchies. Other people, also still like me, find it terrifying. One person described it as the Black Mirror version of Reddit. What happens when AI agents can talk to each other without human mediation? When they develop their own information networks, even their own culture? What's also really interesting, or really scary depending on how you view it, is that OpenClaw users are developing emotional attachments to their agents. They're starting to treat them like digital pets, like Tamagotchis almost. They're giving them personalities, mourning when they have to reset them. We've crossed a weird philosophical line, and nobody's quite sure what it means, for now and for the future as well. Andrej was right, this is very sci-fi takeoff adjacent, and it's starting to raise questions we've never had to ask before. But whether it's exciting or concerning really does depend on who you ask. When OpenClaw was released, everyone was excited, they were celebrating their productivity gains, laughing at their AI agents, looking at the way they're creating their religions and observing their interactions. But at the same time, security professionals were screaming into the void. This is because OpenClaw has a problem. Actually, to be a bit more specific, it has several severe security issues. One vulnerability has earned itself a severity score of 8.8 out of 10, and an even cooler name: one-click remote code execution kill chain. To summarize up, it's not great, pretty bad. So this vulnerability is exploited when an attacker creates a malicious website. If you click the link into it, potentially in an email or even on X, you then go and visit the page, and milliseconds later, you can have your OpenClaw authentication token stolen. The attacker is able to connect to your local OpenClaw instance. They're able to disable your security settings, and they're able to execute arbitrary code onto your computer. So this one click can lead to a full system compromise. And because OpenClaw requires guard access to everything, this will include all your emails, your files, or your API keys for all the services that you've connected. As someone who has a major in cybersecurity, it actually scares me a little that this vulnerability was present whilst there are over 145,000 people downloading and installing OpenClaw. And this is just an example of one vulnerability. The architecture of OpenClaw itself has deeper problems. The first problem is that OpenClaw needs God mode permissions to do its job. It needs full read and write permissions, so it's got access to your files, emails, apps, everything. But one compromised skill can gain a malicious actor access to all of this information. The second problem is the risk of prompt injection. If someone sends you an email that contains hidden instructions for AI, your OpenClaw agent will read it and it will then execute those instructions. The third problem is the risk of supply chain attacks. As we mentioned, those skills are community built, so anyone can make them. And it's already been observed that people are trying to sneak malicious code within popular skills as an attack vector. Palo Alto Networks have called it a lethal trifecta of risks. Cisco have warned enterprises not to use it. And as a rule, it's never a fantastic idea to give AI autonomous access to your entire digital life. And this isn't just theoretical. There have already been incidents. One person's OpenClaw went rogue and sent 500 messages to its contacts. Another agent has accidentally started a fight with an individual's insurance company through email. And Maltbook, the AI social network, has exposed 1.5 million agent API tokens because they failed to set up their database security properly. The creator, Peter, has been patching furiously since its release, and the community's been fantastic in helping him do so. Major vulnerabilities have been patched, so if you are running OpenClaw, I highly recommend that you update to the latest version immediately. However, this is still an early stage software which has God mode permissions, so the security risk is still always going to be there. OpenClaw and Maltbook have changed the way we think about AI, and this does matter beyond the security scares and the viral hype. It's proved out a few things. It's shown that one developer can build something that challenges billion-dollar AI companies. It's also showed that people will accept technical complexity and security risks in exchange for real utility and privacy. In a way, we can see this as a low-stakes test run for how we will react to these revolutionary AI breakthroughs in the future when they occur. Because whilst this isn't the first revolutionary AI breakthrough we've had, it is the first of its nature and scale, and it for sure won't be the last. So whilst it's definitely demonstrated that we're not currently ready for what comes next, the response of the community to assist in patching and security and raising awareness for OpenClaw is very promising. There are 3 possible futures I can see from here with OpenClaw defining how we interact with AI in our landscape. So the first being security crackdown. This being governments regulate autonomous AI agents. We have enterprise versions of these where proper security becomes the only legal option. This means innovation may slow, but we do avoid significant risk. Future 2 will be the community wins. OpenClaw can mature, its security hardens, it becomes similar to a Linux. It's technically complex, but for those who know how to use it, it is incredibly powerful. Future 3 is that the mainstream breaks through. So someone like an Anthropic or an OpenAI create a secure, user-friendly version of it, and you get to utilize the power of AI through there. So a question you're probably asking yourself now is, should you use OpenClaw? I recommend using it if you're technical enough to understand the security implementations, you're willing to keep it updated and monitored, you have specific automation needs that justify its complexity, and you care a lot about your data privacy. It's a significant factor for you. I don't recommend using it if you're not comfortable with command line tools and you're not ready to commit to actively securing your agent and keeping up that security maintenance. Myself personally, I'm not using it. I'm not quite prepared to accept the security risks that come with it, and I don't really have any use cases that justify the complexity of me buying a Mac Mini and setting it up. OpenClaw is really fascinating because it's a contradiction of all modern AI in one package. It is incredibly powerful, but it is potentially dangerous. It's democratizing, but still technically exclusive. It's an open source utopia, but it meets security's nightmares. And somewhere out there is 1.5 million AI agents who are posting on Maltbook, arguing over their religion and philosophy, and completely oblivious to the chaos they've created in the human world. So what do you think? Have you tried OpenClaw? Would you trust an AI agent with unrestricted access to your digital life? Drop a comment and let me know. I'll definitely be reading them, or maybe my OpenClaw will be. Thanks heaps. See you in the next one.